Hi guys, remember the ERG, the European Research Group? It was a group, but it didn't do much research into Europe. Well, it's pretty much fallen by the wayside, so some Tories, particularly the ones who won their seats back in 2019, have formed a new headbanger group called the New Conservatives. These MPs, instead of working hard for their constituents in order to hold on to their seats, want instead to fight culture wars. But also, they see the recent appointment of David Cameron to the cabinet as a betrayal of Brexit, something that helped them get into Westminster at the last election.
The statement, published in place of any reply, says the Prime Minister's proud of his new united team, focused on delivery.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, especially a warm welcome to those for whom it's their first cabinet, and also a welcome to those for whom it may not be their first time.
Earlier, the new cabinet met for the first time. Rishi Sunak's star signing, Lord Cameron, sat in front of him. His hiring and Suella Braverman's firing has stirred some Tory backbenchers to complain the party's deserting the supporters, won over in red wall seats after Brexit. When you saw David Cameron walking up Downing Street, you felt the clock was being turned back on Conservatism a bit.
Well, yes, to some extent. And in 2016, the clear message was we've had enough of the elites. You know, the difference between the views of the elites on any issue you want to pick, and I don't just mean the Conservative Party, I mean the kind of consensus in Westminster, whether it's immigration, whether it's industrial policy, all these issues, there is a gap between what the elite think and what ordinary people in places like where we represent.
What happens if the...
What? The elites? It was the elites that wanted to stop Brexit. She's standing next to Danny Kruger. This is Danny Kruger's Wikipedia page. It says here, early life and career. Kruger was born in Westminster to South African parents, writer and developer Rain Kruger, and restaurateur and television presenter Prue Leith. He was privately educated at Eton. He studied history at the University of Edinburgh. While at university, he was the editor of the magazine Intercourse, which had a controversial issue featuring 3 naked students and an advertisement for massage parlour. He obtained a doctorate in history from the University of Oxford in 2000. And then he worked at a right-wing think tank called the Centre for Policy Studies. He's also written for the Daily Telegraph. So when you talk about Brexit was a response to the elites, I presume you're not talking about Danny Kruger, who you're standing right next to, or Jacob Rees-Mogg, or Boris Johnson. So when you talk about the elites, this is the thing about Brexiteers. They'll say that, Brexit was a response to the elites. People were tired of the elites. They were not connecting with ordinary people. And the very people who ran the campaign to leave the European Union, numerous campaigns, including Nigel Farage, these people are multimillionaires. These people are born into massive amounts of privilege. So if they're not elites, then what the hell are they? But the bigger point here is that you have this wing of the Conservative Party, the New Conservatives, who many of them won their seats in 2019, are desperate to hold on to those seats, desperate to have some sort of influence going forward. And instead of actually working for their constituents, they want to engage in culture wars. They could actually hold on to their seats if they were actually able to pressure the government into delivering, building hospitals, upgrading schools. They could actually go there and say, look, this is what we're doing. But instead, they want to talk about Brexit. They want to talk about culture wars. They want to talk about a whole range of issues that really don't impact their constituents. They don't talk about cost of living. They don't talk about the NHS. They don't talk about education, jobs, things like this. Real bread and butter issues. Instead, they want to engage in some charade. But going forward, I think their torchbearer will be Suella Braverman. So they will be looking to her, and they invited her to speak at their conference, I believe. So she is going to represent their idea, maybe when all of this settles, and when Rishi Sunak is getting close to the end, they will become more and more desperate, and they'll rely on people like Suella Braverman, or maybe Kemi Badenoch, or Priti Patel, to push, instead of issues that will help them hold on to their seats, these culture wars instead, and maybe Brexit. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.